Welcome back, guys, and today I am bringing you the deck tech for the Teamer mid-range deck that I am running for the tournament that I'm hosting. There's a link in the description if you want to follow along. And just for reference, I'm recording this before I've seen what everyone else is bringing, so yeah, I'm giving my other just so it gives me like better reasoning, so I can't like make myself look better and stuff. This is genuine I'm thinking at the time. And yeah, there was a reason I chose Teamer is because I've been working this for I think the last 2 weeks now. Been getting a lot of help from Mega Beast. We've kind of actually ended up with two decks, one a Teamer Fly and one that's Teamer mid-range. And they're both very good decks. I've played a lot with the Fly's one. I actually nearly picked it. Just it was a last minute decision. And in the end I decided to go for Teamer mid-range because there's one card which I'm sure Beast knows, which is why I'm running Teamer, which is why I chose the mid-range version. But I like this deck because I don't think it really has a particularly bad matchup at all. Like, if you bring like ramp deck, you're gonna get slaughtered if anyone brings red deck wins. Which I don't think many people are gonna bring it, but I reckon there'll be one or two stragglers who might bring one. But apart from that, I think it's all gonna be ramp, and it's all gonna be ramp or mid-range is my prediction at the minute. And as I've run mid-range myself, I can't exactly say I'm diverting from the pack, but I like Teamer because if their red deck wins, we have red for burn, which allows us to kind of just stall them and then we can outmuscle them. And at the same time, if they're playing ramp with like a lot of stall themselves, trying to get to late game, we can beat them before they get to turn 10 a lot of the time. And that's not an exaggeration. I've beaten God Draw ramp decks with this, like turn 1 offshoot, turn 3 retreat, turn 4 moss, like turn, I don't know, like 7 Ulamog or whatever. I've managed to get around it. And yeah, so we're going to jump in with the deck now, and I'm going to start going through my card choices of why I ended up with the list I've got right now. And as it takes 50 minutes, we will reflect. But here we go. I'll go through lands as well as Gatekeeper Vine because that kind of makes sense, kind of do the same thing, but 4 Gatekeeper Vines because we are running a very greedy mana base. We have double blue, double red, and double green, and you pretty much need all them colours to really function. And I'm predicting a shit ton of moss as well, so that's why we're running 4. Put it that way. And yeah, it's early blocker. It's a chump blocker early on, and we can use it as a sack juice for the evolutionary leap, which is also in the deck. But getting on the mana base, we want 23. I mean, ideally I'd like 24, but as I'm not running anywhere to thin it, like there's no evolving wilds to like thin out lands, I find you pretty consistently can get to like 6-7 mana easily, which is kind of where this deck wants to be. Anything above that's kind of a bonus. And we are very greedy with the mana base. We have a Izzet Guildgate and a Gruul Guildgate. Obviously for the Gatekeeper Vines you can fetch them up if you are struggling on green. It basically means that with this combination you can get any colours you're missing. And then we run all the check lands because we can really. I mean they don't normally come untapped, but when they do it's not the end of the world. You can work around it. Like especially with like a battle land, you're pretty golden if you've got one of these on the field. And then they're also in the deck obviously because they're the best lands we have. And the 2 man lands in Lumbering Falls, which you can activate. You gotta remember it is a 3/3 with hexproof. They might not be expecting it and they can't burn it out, so it can help you force through damage if you need to. And then apart from that, we are very green centric as to be expected, so we run 5/3/3. And then yeah, so that's mana base, like a 24th land, but in the end of the day I think it should be fine. And regarding the visionaries, which we'll get onto now, online I'd probably say go 3/3, but because like I said I'm expecting acid masters, I've made a last minute decision to throw in the 4th Gatekeeper. And to be honest, it's kind of a minimal. It's 6 and 2 3s in that sense. They both kind of do the same thing. And visionary draws us a card, which is always nice. And yeah, again it's another early drop. It can be used as a sack outlet, it can chump down, etc. Gets you around flashback marauders. Does all the things you want. Evolutionary Leap is because we run a shit ton of tokens in this deck, as I'm sure you've already seen if you saw when I scrolled through, or you're going to see. So there's always going to be, just allows us to keep the train rolling. We have plenty of juice for it, and it helps us against anyone who's been cheeky enough to bring active trees in deck, which I really doubt. They did not do well in the Xbox tournament, but you know, if someone's decided to be brave, then this should just shut them down. And even if it doesn't, I mean, there's rarely a game where you're unhappy to see at least one evolution loop. You're never happy to see the second one, but you know, that's how it stands. All that early burn I was telling you about is resolved in Twin Bolt. We have all 4, and I wouldn't take one out in the world. I did try 3 and I regretted it instantly. Yeah, you need 4, just because you always want when you start in hand. It just gives you insurance. You can blow people out in combat. You can halt their aggression, and you can just generally stomp all over them. Really, there's not much else to say. You can go at the face. It's just such a versatile card. Why I chose over Fiery Impulse, because it can go at the face. And yeah, that's really it. Fantastic card. 61st card in the deck. Okay, let's get you back in here. 61st card in the deck is Rolling Thunder, and Beast was very much against this, and to be honest, I completely understand why. This is not a deck where we hit them once and then go, okay, Rolling Thunder for 14. It's been a pleasure playing you. Like I said, we normally peak about 6-7 mana, and for then it's really only 5 damage. It is divided as you choose, but it's not exciting. You know what I mean? It's a good card, but it's not in its prime. But the reason we're running it is because I really felt I needed a 3rd board wipe, and obviously we only get 2 Radiant Flames, and I'm not running Boiling Earth, which pretty much left us this. And Rolling Thunder is good. I mean, like I said, it can either be a terrible board wiper, it can be a terrible Exquisite Firecraft essentially, and we run all copies of them. So a 3rd versatile card. It's kind of versatile in the fact that, you know, you can, in some situations it's better than them cards, but it's not as consistent, and that's why it's the 61st card. But like I said, I really felt I needed a 3rd copy of each of them cards, and it would give us that essentially. Now we get onto the flyer part, and we have Eldrazi Skyspawner. We have 3 copies. Now, a lot of you probably be thinking, and I'll bring the card up, why aren't I running this card instead? I can't remember the name. There it is. Skyrider Elf. Why aren't I running Skyrider Elf instead? And I've playtested, I'm not gonna lie, I've playtested a shit ton with Skyrider Elf and Skyspawner, and at the end of the day, Skyspawner just won out, and there's a reason. Because like, the advantage of this Skyrider Elf here, they've both got Sky in the name, it's annoying, but the advantage of the Elf is that you can cast it on turn 2 if you need to get a 2/2 flyer, and it also gets an extra toughness, and it's all in the air. You know, you get a 3/3 flyer for 3 mana. While Skyspawner is a 2/1 flyer that brings a friend along, basically. But in this deck, I think bringing a friend along has more value than just one big body up front. Because like this thing, you never the casting on turn 2 for me is irrelevant. The only like matchup you want to do that is like red deck wins, and even then, Fiery Impulse and Twin Bolt still kill it. So it's kind of just like, yeah, you can play it, but you won't be happy about playing it on turn 2. Well, if we go at Skyspawner, yes, it gets wrecked by Twin Bolt. I'll be the first to admit that. But the friend it brings along, it's got a lot of versatility. Basically, fires in this deck to just peck away at your opponent, or opponent's planeswalkers. That's kind of the big thing. And yeah, sure, you miss out on a point of damage if you're hitting them every turn in the air. But at the same time, you get an extra token that if you're trying to hit like a Gideon down, you don't have to sit back to block with the flyer. Sorry if you can hear that. You don't have to sit back to block with the flyer. You can block with the token and then keep pecking away at them. You know, it gives you an extra blocker, works well with Evolutionary Leap. It's a bit of synergy later on with Drowner of Hope, which we'll get to. But I just preferred the 2 bodies, that was really it. I just think Skyspawner is better in most situations and gives you more reach where the elf would not. Nissa is Nissa, I don't have to explain this, I'll spend less than 10 seconds on this card. It's amazing. We only get 1, you only run 1, and yeah, it's just broken, that's it. 1 Reclamation Sage. We do have a way to tutor it up, so it appears more than, if you want it, it can appear more than what a one-off. And yeah, just we have problem with tutelage, we have problems with like retreats if they just keep going, and like Zendikar's rolls and stuff. It just gives us a way to find an answer in our deck for this, and our deck usually can't stall them out long enough that he'll appear at some point in the game, and he's rarely going to be a dread draw. Most decks will contain at least one target for him, and that's why we run one. I tried two, but I just felt it was too much. You don't want any starting hand a lot of the time unless you're facing one of them decks. Here's a card I'd run 10 of if I could. We have 3 Bounding Crisis, and I wish we could have 10, like I said, but he's just a broken card. He's absolutely amazing. We can get very, very tricky with him in this deck if we want, and the best thing about him is that he makes opponents play around him. Like good players, and everyone in this tournament I'm going to assume is good, they have to play around him. Like, if you've got a Liliana, you can't attack him. If I'm holding mana up at all, you'd be suicidal. It'd be brave, to say the least. It's just like a lot of stuff like that. They could get blown out, so they'll play around getting blown out, which just gives you a lot of leeway. And even if you do actually have them in your hand, then it's a 3/3 for 3 that comes whenever you want it. Tap something down, which can help you force through damage. Can untap stuff to just really blow people out in combat, like I said. And we have one card that we can get so disgustingly tricky with, which I'll get onto later on. But Bounding Crisis is just a damn good card. I was saying I needed board wipes. Here it is, Radiant Flames. Not much to say. We can X equals 3. But just saying we're playing Thopters or something, and we only need to do it for 1 or 2, it can be a one-sided board wipe if you're lucky enough. And if it does that, that's just a complete blowout. And yeah, like I said, not much to say. It's a board wipe. This deck needed board wipes, and we have board wipes. Now here's another card. Beast he told me I was an idiot for not running, basically, and I completely agree. I didn't have this in my original build, and it was a complete mistake. I think I had more Rolling Thunders, and Cruel Firecraft just does what Rolling Thunder does, except better in this deck. It's 4 damage, so I mean they play Gideon, they make a token, it's dead next turn. Even turn 4, you can kill Gideon before it really gets going, which is amazing. And if not, I mean 95% of the time it's just a kill spell to your opponent. It just says you win the game. That's how we generally use it. But if you need to use it to kill a big scary blocker or a Planeswalker, you can, and that's just a good card. Like I said, the spell mastery is pretty irrelevant. Well, it's not irrelevant. It's kind of 50-50. I mean, we have the other Firecraft, the Radiant Flames, the Rolling Thunder, and the Twin Bots. They're all our instants. So it's kind of you're not guaranteed to have it up, but at the same time, it's not a miracle if you do. Pretty much the reason you go into blue is Whirler Rogue. Another card I'm not going to spend too long for. We can make our stuff unblockable. It's just a good card. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, if you look at this card and you think, I don't see what's so special about it, just play with it and you'll see. It's so frustrating to see it cross from you, and it's never bad. It's never bad to cast a Whirler Rogue, and that's why you run as many as you can. Akum Firebird is a burn spell, essentially, except he doesn't die. It's not one time only, it's 3 damage hasted in the air again. So you can see where all the flyer little synergies are coming in here. And 6 mana is not unreasonable. You can bring him back, and then he will hit them again. And he'll just keep making your opponents sad until they eventually die. And it's 4 mana, it's good. We can get to double red. I think this is probably the home for the deck in a mid-range thing. I never liked it in ramp, and I never liked it in red deck wins. I like the bird where he is now. Another card that's fairly a no-brainer is Woodland Wanderer. If you're running a 3+ colour deck, not running 2 of these is borderline insanity. I mean, 4 mana for a 5/5 Vigilance Trample is just enough as it is. It's like it could even have a downside, and it'd probably be worth running. Like it could say lose 2 life a turn or something like that, and you'd probably still run it, but it doesn't. So we run as many as we can. Now here's the card I'm going to spend the majority of the time justifying and bitching about while Beast bangs his head on the table, like I said. This was the controversial card, Flame Shadow Conjuring. Is this card going to lose me games? Probably. I'll be the first to admit that. I'm obsessed with this card. And but I'm not gonna overplay it. Is this card going to lose me games? Yes. It's a terrible card. But is this card going to win me games? And I'll also say the answer will be yes. Now a lot of people kind of say about this card, they go, you tap out turn 4 to essentially do nothing. You don't like impact the board at all. And people don't mind doing that with acid moss, so why don't we do it with flame shadow conjuring? And really, it's just, this is our key against ramp. If they can't remove this, you can just slaughter them before they even get close to Ulamog. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, people have gained 10 plus life in the game against me, and I've still managed to kill them before they can get to Ulamog. And the reason, I mean, like, look at the synergies. The only non-bow really is Woodland Wanderer, because it doesn't come on with any counters, so it's only a 2/2 vigilance trample. If you do that, I mean, which isn't terrible. You do it if you can, but you don't go out of your way to do it. But apart from that, 6 damage haste in the air, and the landfall does work with it. You hit your 7th land drop, you can activate this thing's ability and then activate the Flame Shadow trigger, which is pretty broken. Obviously busted with the Roller Rug, 8 power, 2 hasted, unblockable if you want. Not much else to say. The trick with Bounding Crisis is just busted. You can even do this on their turn to put 6 power, which they weren't expecting to have to deal with. You can tap down 2 of their blockers or whatever, or you can untap some more of your creatures to surprise them even more. And even if you're using this offensively, it's still 3 damage haste while tapping down 2 creatures while having a 3/3 sitting back. And like I said, it's just a damn good card, not much else to say. Reclamation Sage, double hit enchantment. I mean, it's rarely going to come up, but it can come up. I have had it come up against Thopters and stuff. Basically, it's a board wipe if you have a Flame Shadow. Nissa doesn't really work with, I'll be the first to admit, but then, yeah, no, if you need a second forest, it can work. If you want to thin out your deck some more, Sky Spawner makes an extra token, plus 2 damage haste in the air. Basically, never get land screwed again, and Inspiration. And that's just the stuff before. You know what, we'll go through this stuff later as well. Drown of Hope busted with it, Green Warden busted with it. Woodland Bellower just damn right broken with it. I'll get onto that when I get to Woodland Bellower. I've got a whole section planned for that. And Guy's Revenge, 16 power haste. That's not bad. Like I said, I mean, it's not a card with drawbacks. Like I said, you add nothing to the board. But if they are not pressuring you, and like I said, I'm expecting a lot of ramp, and ramp doesn't really turn up the heat, then this thing just punishes them massively. And hopefully I'll get to show you that in the tournament. We're getting onto our 6 drops here. We have Drown of Hope. I mentioned it before. It's the only one I run 2 of, because it's the only one I can run 2 of. Because it's never bad. It's like Whirl Rug. There's never a situation where you go, oh, I've only got a Drown of Hope to cast. You know, it's like, you can do so much with this thing. It works with Sky Spawn as well, because you can use the Sky Focus Scions for this. I mean, it's 7 power for 6 mana, and like I said, I mean, tap down their blockers. Yeah, they tap up for Ulamog, but you just tap it down and swing past it. Green Warden on Marasa just gets you your best card back. It's pretty hard to find any green deck that's not running this, just because it's Eternal Witness, except it's a really big body, and it should be better if it wasn't broken, but gets you burn back, gets you... I mean, how hard is it to... A lot of the games you just cast a Whirl Rogue, suicide the actual body into the opponent, and then just grab it straight back, and then the turn after you have an unblockable Green Warden, which is nice. But it's a great card, not really much to say. Woodland Bellower is our tutor for Reclamation Sage if we so desire, and apart from that, it's 95% of the time it's going to be getting a Bounding Crisis, because that's 9/8 worth of power and toughness on the field for 6 mana while tapping down a blocker. That's not bad. And yeah, so let's get into what I think is the most complicated trigger interaction in Duel, and if anyone can prove me wrong here, I'm willing to listen, but this is how it goes, okay? You have a Flame Shadow Conjuring, 10 mana, and, well, I think it might actually be 9, but 9 or 10 mana, I can't really bother to work this out. And in theory you could have 2 Flame Shadows, but let's not blow our minds here. But you have a Woodland Bellower and a Flame Shadow and 10 mana. You cast the Woodland Bellower, his ability goes off and there's a battlefield, and you grab a Bounding Crisis. Bounding Crisis then enters the battlefield, taps down an opponent's creature, to which then a Flame Shadow trigger goes on the stack, and then asking you if you want to double the Bounding Crisis, you say yes please, you tap down another creature, you have 3 power haste, to which then it gets complicated. The second Flame Shadow trigger goes on the stack, saying do you want to double the Woodland Bellower, You say yes, that's now 8 mana. You double the Woodland Bellow, you get a 6/5 with haste. His ability goes on the stack again. You grab a second Bounding Crisis, that's 9 mana. I mean, that comes in the field, and the Flame Shadow goes off again. Saying, do you want to pay for the Bounding Crisis? You say yes. You get a second Bounding Crisis with haste, and it taps down an opponent's creature. So I think I worked this out. For 9 mana there, you get 18 power on the board, 9 of it hasted while tapping down 2 blockers. That doesn't seem bad. And obviously the Flame Shadow trigger, guys, you can sack with Evil Leap if you really want to get tricky. But you don't need Flame Shadow, he just grabs you a Bounding Crisis or even a Visionary if for some reason you've run out of Crises to grab. Well, he's just a great card, not much else to say. I don't want to have Gaia's Revenge for them control decks that want to get a bit cheeky and think that they can play around Gaia's Revenge when they don't stand a chance. 8 power haste, can't be countered, can't be targeted. Just a great card, not much else to say. Still as good as it was when it was a mythic, let's put it that way. And yeah, well, suddenly we've run out of cards to analyse, that's really the deck. How far do I think I'll get in this tournament? Let's get real here. Well, I think everyone's going to go a tad bit more try-hard than the Xbox guys. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't go try-hard, but I don't know, some of the decks, you could tell the players weren't playing to, like, go, I don't know what the word is, optimized, like guaranteed, like they wanted to win at all costs. They wanted to have fun while doing it as well. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. As you can see, I mean, I haven't brung green red ramp, so I'm going on the same route. But I imagine the Xbox, I'm not the Xbox guy, the Steam guys are going to be bringing a lot more ramp to the party. we seem to see a lot more acid moss, so I think we're kind of adjusted to it now. But I reckon we've seen most of the competition's going to be ramp, then a little bit mid range. And then maybe a splash and red deck wins with the odd control deck. So I think everyone's going to be... That's how everyone's going to spread out. And I think my deck can compete. I mean, I might not... I don't think I'll particularly get far. I know a lot of the people playing. Babs, Crider, Bounce Boom Buff, they're all legend as well. They're all very good players. And I'm not really... I'm not bad, but I tend to fold under pressure, and that's what a tournament is. So we shall see, and hopefully I can prove myself wrong. But put it this way, I probably won't be talking too much as I play, because if I miss like a trigger somewhere, I might just end up like quitting YouTube and going into exile, because the trauma will kill me that much. But hey, this is Team of Midrange, and the general format of what I'm going to be doing with the stuff, my videos, will be, I plan to, once the matchups gets, once I like set the matchups and stuff, I've got a program to set it, I'm going to play, make a video with my opponent's deck for that week, and then give my opinions on the deck, psych them out by pretending that I don't know that they have some secret up their sleeve, and actually I know everything. So I'm going to be making a video with their deck, and then obviously there'll be the match itself, which will be going up in here. And then, yeah, probably a random one-off video as well, like with random decks that I felt like playing. But yeah, so more to come on the Night Oak channel, and I hope you all want to follow the tournament. Like I said, link in the description. And yeah, remember to support your one and only true hero here. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later.